forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you and you and you and you. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Mine was very interesting, to say the least. Anywho, shout out to the live chat. Welcome to the Melanated Way. We made it, y'all. We made it through all 4 parts of the Happily Ever After tell-all. So we are covering season 7, episode 21, No Limits tell-all. And you know, I gotta tell you, it wasn't even really 4 parts. It was 3.5 parts, because the tell-all 40 minutes in, the stage part was done, and then the rest of the hour and 20 minutes was just like they're at the bar all talking to each other, which I could have done without. But it is what it is. Oh, thank you guys. My sister friends will know this is what happened to me. So today's hair day for me, and so I was taking my hair down. It's gonna, like, you know, do the whole wash and condition thing, and that was all gonna happen. I was gonna wake up, do my prayer and meditation, go to church, do my hair, wake up, find out that, so I don't know if I told you guys, I think I told my Patreon subscribers, but the power went out the day before yesterday. So the power went out, so we didn't have power all day. Friends came in town, took me out so I could get out of the house. And then today, the city had a sewage issue. I woke up and it was backed up everywhere. It was just the most disgusting thing. So I had start taking my hair down and start doing the washing process. And now I'm wearing a hat because that happened. Whew. So thank you everyone that's saying you like the pink toque. I had no other choice. Anywho, we're waiting on Gio. He's going to join us shortly. But let's start talking about the tell-all, because, you know, there is some stuff I want to touch base on. Overall, I was a little bit unimpressed, but it is what it is. Girl, Rebecca, yes, girl, yes. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself, and it's too late. So it's going to have to be a Monday thing. It's throwing me off. Patreon subscribers, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow, we do have a special guest. Make sure you take a look at your Patreon dashboard. And it's a for sure thing. I know that we went back and forth with this person a couple of times, but the person assures me that we're on for tomorrow. So if you can make 1 p.m., definitely come in the live chat. I believe that this person has a lot to say. That being said, we're in Lagos, Nigeria, and Michael is looking for Usman at the Colossus Hotel. And I don't really know what exactly was happening, but he finds Usman, and then Usman tells him to F off, and then they start this weird fight. Now, in my personal opinion, it was fine that they were speaking English, but English is not their first language. I would have preferred if they were speaking Nigerian to each other and then had the subtitles, because I feel like it would have been more authentic. But Usman is like, you know, I don't understand why you can't have your own social media. And then Michael's like, let me talk. My woman. From day one, my woman has been jealous of me. She's jealous of other women. So, you know, she really want me to take my Instagram down. And Usman's like, you know, she doesn't want you to be around me because she feels like I'm a bad influence on you. And the reason why, and this made me laugh, you guys, and I'm still stuck on it. The reason why Usman says that Angela doesn't want Usman and Michael to be friends is because, quote, she knows I'm smarter than you. When I tell you I laugh my face off, Usman, you think you're smarter than Michael? Like, for real? You think you're smarter than Michael? Because you sound ridiculous right now. And then he doubles down and says, not only am I smarter than you, it's clear to everyone that I'm smarter than you. It's not clear to me, Usman. How are you smarter than Michael? Please explain that because y'all, it's been a rough weekend. Let me be on my best behavior because I could go in. Let's just say, I don't know what that means. My thumbnail said 4 a.m. My thumbnail said 4 a.m. Now I'm distracted. I don't know. No, because my thumbnail, this is the thumbnail that I created. It just says 90 Day Fiance, HEA, Tell All Part 4 with Linda and Gio. So, anyone else see that it said 4 a.m.? Because now I'm concerned. Anyone else? Anyone? Hi, Pineapple Express. I'll check it out, but I mean, we got about 32 people right now in the live, so it must have come up somewhere. But thank you, Begetch. So, anyways, back to Usman. So Usman thinks he's smarter than Michael. It's clear to him. He feels like he can draw Michael into a game that maybe will effort him up. And I was like, So are you saying you're playing a game with Kimberly? Because that's what it sounds like. And it sounds like you're saying that you're better at playing the game. Not that you're necessarily smarter than Michael, because Michael puts up with a lot of Angela's abusive behavior. And speaking of Angela, did they medicate her? Because part 3 and 4, she wasn't the crazy tyrant she was in part 1 and 2. And she barely said anything. The things she did say were still incredibly offensive. But oh, thanks, Natatat. No, all good. Mine says 8 p.m. That's what I wanted to see. Thanks, Natatat, for the 411. What up, Gio?
What's up with you? I'm not a little bit too late, am I?
No, you're good.
Here.
You're good. Right. Welcome, Gio.
What's up, y'all?
So I was just talking about Angela. Do you think Angela was on meds or something? Because she was much more subdued for part 3 and 4. And
go ahead.
And I mean, I'm still not a fan just because you can't change your behavior for 4 hours and think that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with Angela. You could be on to something about her being subdued, like on a medication or something.
Right.
She was going off last week, telling Michael, "You better fix this. I'm gonna get a divorce." And now she's all like, "Let me give you some good advice."
I think she probably sees that the fans are revolting against her, and people are like making not GoFundMe's, but what's the other one? They're making like petitions for her and Ed to be off the show, and I think she's starting to see that, and so I think she's trying to change her behavior, but like it's a little too late. Yeah. You've been a tyrant for the last 5 years, and all of a sudden, now that people are like, "Hey, listen, we've had enough. We've had enough. It's been 5 years. We all went through a global pandemic. We all have gone through some shit, and we're not going to sit here in the comfort of our own homes and have this disgusting verbal diarrhea, abusive behavior in front of us." And then to top it all off, this is the season where we actually saw her get physical with Michael. And I think that was like the breaking point for everyone. Everyone's like, oh, not only did you put your hands on this man, then you went and tore up his place and you have no respect for his country. Had he been in America, he would have been under the jail because you would have called the police on him and said a bunch of shit that was not true. Had he touched you.
Especially him being a black man, being with her, So, yeah, in America, we get dealt the shortest end of the stick every time. But, I'm kind of glad he's not over here right now. Like, if he is, wish you the best of luck, especially dealing with Angela, because she ain't going to stop. She's never going to change her ways. That's just how the way it ended. But they tried to make him out to be the bad one.
That's the part.
He tried to agree with it. Like, I know you seen how he talked to Usman. I know I cheated. I said, bro, you should be clapping your hands that you did something to stand up for yourself. Leave her ass.
It was
Straight up.
weird. That was weird to me. So he's like, yeah, I cheated. Yes, I cheated to Usman. Yes, there were their voicemails. But let's just put that aside. I need you to respect Angela. I need you to respect me. I'm like, why are we quickly trying to gloss over this? Why are we glossing over this? Did you actually indeed cheat? Like, here's the thing, you guys, that I didn't like about the tell-all. They bring up all these issues, but then they don't solve the issues, or they don't tell us what the closure of the issue is. So Michael's now saying that he cheated. Who did you cheat with? When did you send that voicemail? Who is that woman? Where is that woman? Is it over with that woman? Are you still coming to America? Do you still want to be with Angela? Why would you cheat if you tell us Angela's the love of your life? Why would you put up with Angela's shit-ass behavior and her putting her hands on you and verbally abusing you on the regular if you already found somebody else? Like, why are we not answering those questions? Instead, we're like, oh, yes, I cheated, but respect me and her. What?
But you seen Usman? Usman was like, if somebody disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect them back. You know what? And that's about right. Especially if this woman is on TV trying to disrespect everybody, she gotta expect to get checked. Period. It ain't no way around that. And I don't get why Michael was like, "Oh, respect my wife." You wasn't saying that though when it was time for her to sit up there and dog you out and was over there messing with the Chippendale stripper in Canada. He wasn't saying all that. So I don't feel bad for Michael no more. I feel like he's a whole complete lost soul. He just lost. Him and that little shiny ass head of his, they lost.
Stevie says Michael's simping for a green card. I mean, you're not wrong, Stevie. You're not wrong. I think that he feels like he put all this work in, so that he's now going to see it to the end. The other part that I wasn't impressed with, Gio, is the fact that he was like, please let Angela be. Let her say anything to anybody. I was like, we're done. Did you not hear us? We're done with
I heard him say it.
And so when Usman said, that's going to be a capital no.
That part.
If she attacks me, I'm going to attack back. I wish you guys the best. God bless you. Bless your union. But basically, peace out. And what I'm not about to do is I'm not about to let Angela talk to me all crazy like she talks to you all crazy.
Good job to Usman.
Good job to Usman. Yeah. I guess so. So we're back in New York. We're in studio and we're talking to Jovi and Yara and we're covering their story, right? So we find out, or if you didn't know, we kind of already knew here at the Melanated Way, but she got her boobs job and she loves it. She's like, now my boobs don't look like trash bags with pepperonis. And I laughed at that. I was like, that is such a hilarious analogy. But she's like, they look great. She feels secure in them. Jovi loves them. And we find out that it's the same doctor, Dr. Obeng, that did Angela's boobs. And Angela was all like butthurt that Yara didn't call her and be like, hey, I'm going to go see your doctor and I'm going to get my boobs done. And Yara's like, why would I? You would just yell at me. Like, why? We're not friends.
That part.
We might be on the same season, but we're not friends. I don't like you. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you. Y'all ain't checking for no damn Angela. She came in there chewing her hand all in your face. Like, hell no.
I noticed that no one was really checking for Angela.
So wouldn't.
On stage and at the bar, no one was really checking for her. All of a sudden, her and Kimberly are besties, which we'll get into later. But I was like, no one's really trying to talk to you because no one's feeling this shit energy. Scandalous says, why didn't they bring up Angela's cheating with the Canadian guy? That part.
I'm saying, why didn't what's her name? I forgot her name.
Jenny.
The one, huh?
Who?
The TV host. What's her name?
Oh, Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Why didn't she bring that up?
Does Sean ever bring anything up though?
She barely bring up the things we want to hear. I wanted to get messy.
I'm curious to know if Sean actually watches the show. That's what I want to know.
I think she watches more of what they do behind the scenes. That's probably what she be watching, their Instagrams and Facebooks.
I don't even think she watches their Instagram. I don't think she watches the show. I think that she gets her notes from whoever's doing the writing,
True.
and the PAs behind the scene, and then she just reads off. She knows the general gist of everyone's story, but I don't think she actually watches the show. Because if she watches the show, in my opinion, she'd be as invested as all of us fans are invested. And so
Yeah.
then she would want to ask the questions that we want to know the answers to.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Mm. I want to know why they ain't asked. That's why I'm like, how y'all go through 4 hotel laws and not talk about the Canadian Chippendale Scribble?
Right, that part. Angela's, you didn't talk about Angela's cheating. You didn't talk about Angela bullying all of the cast members. You didn't talk about Angela going to Nigeria and busting up stuff. You didn't bring out this new friend, whatever the friend that you notice how Angela will travel somewhere with a friend and then all of a sudden she
Mm-hmm.
abandons the friend. She did it with Renee in Nigeria, and I don't even remember this woman's name, Joe or Jenny, or I don't even know, but the new
I
one
think
we
it
met,
was Jenny. I think it was Jenny. I
the
think
new
that
one
was
that
her
we
name.
met,
Janae or something like that. Janae,
whoever.
Jenny, something. I don't know.
All of a sudden she was there, and all of a sudden she was gone. This fool sat in on the street waiting for Angela in part 2, and then all of a sudden she's just gone.
Waited in the street just to smoke a cigarette. Just to hit a cigarette.
Nat Atat says, I think because they filmed the reunion like 5 months ago, the cast and Sean don't know a lot about what is going to air on the tell-all. I don't believe it. I don't. I mean, not a ton. I know that they film in advance. I do know a lot about the production, so they actually know what they filmed, and so that goes back to my question: is whether or not Sean watches the show. Because if she watches the show, whether or not she knows what's going to air, what aired before the tell-all. So the last episode airs, and then the tell-all is filmed. They've seen what airs, so it can't be that. So back to Jovi and Yara. What do you think of Dr. Obang?
He he do a good job with doing the breast thing. You know, he do a real good job. But I think Michael still probably most likely is a little bit jealous of him because he is a Nigerian man that's doing good for himself over here. And if
Well, Dr.
Angela
Obang
did
is
get the
Guinean.
chance,
He's
huh?
not Nigerian. Dr. Obang is Guinean. He's not Nigerian.
Oh, we thinking. I'm thinking. Was that the dude who did a weight loss surgery? Who
Who
was the
did
guy?
Angela's weight loss surgery and her
Yeah.
boobs? Yeah, but he's not from Nigeria. He's from Ghana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he is from, but he's from some part of Africa. But I don't know about the Dr.
Ghana.
Bang dude. Ghana. I don't know about the Dr. Bang dude. I think I probably seen him. I don't know, probably once. Don't remember him. I really don't remember him. But whatever, if they saying that he a good doctor, well, damn it, he might be a good doctor. He might not do. But hey, Angela titties. I mean, Angela breast looks. Not gonna lie to you, I seen that little black part right here. Like when it looks terrible. Compared to Yara, he did a great job. I'm just being honest.
Interesting. We talked about Dr. Obang on my Patreon. I'll leave it at that. Plus, he's Guinean, so I don't want to say too much. But he's, considered a Beverly Hills doctor, so he should be, highfalutin. But y'all look him up. That's all I'll say. Y'all look him up. So, Angela calls herself the Queen, right? And she calls herself multiple times the Queen. And so when she finds out that Yara went to the same doctor as, quote, the Queen, she's like, I don't understand. And they're like, well, isn't that the same doctor that you were flirting with to try to make Michael jealous? And she said, yeah, she does do that. She does things, her words, to make Michael jealous. Now, if that is not a toxic relationship, I don't know what is. That's not healthy, you guys. If you purposely are doing things so that your partner gets jealous and you know that you're going to push their buttons like that, that is another sign that you're in a toxic relationship.
I agree.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. And if you feel like you have to do it, then perhaps this isn't the relationship for you. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, Gio, in my opinion, Angela needs to work on her own self-worth because she looks for external validation
Yeah.
about who she is as a person. She thinks that she can fix the outside of herself and not the inside of herself, and it's the inside that's the problem. The inside, your shitty attitude is the problem, your behavior is the problem, the fact that you are insecure and don't self-love, that's the problem. And no amount of you're beautiful and get your boobs done and have weight loss surgery and wear all the clothes that you wear, none of all that external stuff is going to validate you, Angela. What you need to
Yeah.
do is you need to sit down and do the hard work. And in my opinion, she needs to go to therapy because she's not the only one that's fucked up in her family. And, I know when none of us talk about it, but one of her daughters, the baby daddy's in prison. She had to go to court to get custody of the 3 kids. The other daughter, no one talks about because she not just came out, but she came out of prison for doing some really shitty things to children.
Yeah.
And so your whole situation, you need to reevaluate and you need to go to therapy and fix it all. And you want to come out here and be holier than thou and stick your nose up in front of everyone and talk down to everyone. Like, what is the saying? You need to fix your own backyard or cut the grass in your own backyard first. Do that part first before you out here judging people.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Very delusional. The fact that she's a queen. That's not what a queen is. She downgraded the value of herself as a woman. Her reputation doesn't hold nothing because look at her background and also the baggage that she comes with. So nah, she's not a queen. Let's get that out the way.
Right. And listen, we all have history. We all have things that we've done in life that we hopefully have learned from. My fear is that Angela just has not learned from any of the things that she's done because even in this last episode, she was trying to make herself to be the victim. I'm like, you're not the victim here. And you're not going to change my mind in an hour and a half that you're all of a sudden the victim when you've been victimizing people from the very first tell-all that you've been to. And we've talked about this, how, she's bullied Avery. She bullied John's wife. I can never think of her name. She bullied Ziad's wife. Like, she's just a bully. Bully. So fix that part, and then maybe
You talking about Rebecca? She bullied Rebecca?
Yeah, she bullied Rebecca.
Damn.
On the tell-all, she zeroes in on one person and bullies them. She's done it every single tell-all. She tried to do it to Yara, this tell-all, and Yara's like, "Oh hell no."
She even tried to do it to Ed.
Oh hell no.
She tried to do it to little Ed.
I like how everyone's calling him Little Ed now. I love it. I think it's hilarious. So, what did you think about? So Yara talks about how she got this breast augmentation, and then we find out that Shida is interested in getting breast augmentation after she has babies. What were your thoughts on that?
I was like, Shida, shut your ass up and sit down. She be digging. I'm not gonna lie to you, Linda. Shida, you see how Bilal was looking at Shida when she was talking about that? Bilal didn't even say nothing because he's like, nothing is wrong with your breast. Like, you're fine just the way you are. I don't think that Shida needs that. She just want to do everything everybody else does, kind of. I think Shida needs to stop taking vital information from people like Yara, because look at her shit. We seen that unravel tonight, but no, hell no. Man, you should have seen Bilal's face. I was like, damn, Bilal looking like I'm already trying to save money, and you talking about spending more? Like, come on. No, that's not a good look. That Shida talking about getting that. What's that thing called on their breast? What is it called again, Linda?
Breast augmentation.
What the hell is that? I thought it was just breast implants. Is that just a nipple thing or something?
So augmentation means to enhance.
Like, you talking about to make it like
enhance, make it bigger.
Is that the same thing like getting breast implants?
Yeah.
Man, look here. Why did they just not say breast implants?
Because the actual clinical term that doctors use is breast augmentation.
I never heard that till tonight.
Well, now you know. Now you know. Boob job, breast implants, breast
I heard that one.
augmentation,
I
all the
heard both
same
of those.
thing.
But hell no, she don't need that. She don't need that. I ain't gonna lie. I don't be looking at her breast in them, but seems like she got a nice body figure on her, like, but she is hella skinny, huh?
I mean, I don't know, but I feel like if that's something that she actually is truly interested in and not just being influenced because, it's like a Western thing to do, then she should
Yeah.
be able to do it because it's really her body, her choice, right?
Yeah. True.
So, I mean, if that's something that she's actually interested in and that she's actually going to research for herself, then, do what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with a little nip and a tuck and a lift and a enhancement if that's what makes you happy.
Yeah.
But I think she's beautiful the way she is. But if she
Me
feels
too.
like that's something she wants to do, then that's what she should do. Hey, April. Hey, girl. Hey.
What's up, April? Peace and love. But this is the problem. I was gonna say this. Imagine if she gets her boob job too big, she's not gonna be able to do all that yoga stuff she's used to doing. Like seriously, she might pop a boob. Trying to,
Oh my God, Jill. What are you?
no,
What? You can do
I'm just
yoga
saying
and have big boobs.
it's gonna be harder.
How? How will it be
She
harder?
might bend down, her back might break because if it's too big, women with big breasts already got back problems. Shit, my back hurt. I know it hurt. You hold them things up in the front. I'm so sorry, but I'm just being real. Oh Lord. She's trying to do yoga, she be scratching. Pop. Like I gotta go to the hospital.
Yeah, I come, I try to do my show. I try to depart a little bit of knowledge. And Gio always throws me off with these random things. I'm going to tell you right now that you can have big boobs and do yoga. You're not going to
Oh,
put your back out. You're not going to pop a boob out. Okay. Despite what Gio is telling you right now. Pineapple Express said, "Sir."
oh Lord.
Rebecca said, "Oh my God."
Y'all know I don't know too much about it. Shoot, I know they be like, watch, be careful. There's a $5,000 job done on my chest. You gotta be careful.
Okay, I didn't want to. Gio.
I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm being honest.
Okay,
It
but
might be funny, but I'm being dead ass honest.
okay, so Gio, what do you think? Do you think that do you think that the implants are like balloons and they're like they can pop? Is that your thought
I don't
of
think that they're balloons, but I think if it's not I think if it's somebody who made it, it can malfunction if somebody accidentally put too much pressure on that area. It can, and all the little stuff come out. I seen the TLC video, that you can buy your head but don't grow. And it was that girl was in there, she about to get that thing, and I seen a little jelly thing. I was like, what is that? And then she ran out the hospital crying. But I think that thing can, if somebody puncture that thing, or if they move a certain way, and oh yeah, all the little thing that with that gel stuff comes oozing on out, and then next thing you know, gotta go to the hospital. I heard people can pass away if that thing busts. That's serious. That's serious. You better be careful doing that yoga, trying to get that done. Mess around and what if she fall the wrong way? Knock on wood. Hey, I feel bad for her if she get too much big breath. Don't fall now. Being honest.
okay. Okay, I was gonna have a full on conversation with you, but I think probably not.
Somebody said it happens, but it takes a lot of pressure. Where the ground is hard. Yep. Ground is hard. Be careful, y'all. Don't trip. I don't nobody fall and they got breast implants. I pray to God.
Here, I'm just gonna say what Ray Della said. I love Gio.
I love you too. You hear me?
That's it. That's it. All right, so we're also talking about Jovi. So, what were your thoughts on Jovi? You guys, I don't know what to do. Gio just throws me off. Pineapple Express, thank you so much for supporting the show. The thing I wonder if these women realize is that you have to replace implants after a decade, and some of these reality girls don't have it like that.
You got to replace it.
That part I didn't know, that you have to replace it every 10 years. But
What happened
Joslo
to
says,
them?
my mom had an augmentation and they're still going strong at 92 years old. Don't worry, Gio.
Oh yeah, she a boss then. She a boss. Yeah, she a boss. She ain't ever fall a day in her life. Ain't ever had nothing happen to him. Yeah.
I know
Shout
you
out to
did.
her.
I know you didn't just say Joslo's mom hasn't fallen a day in her life.
I'm talking about she ain't fall on her breast on her, but nobody ain't hugged her to death. You know what I'm saying? Like try to
Hug
squeeze it.
them to death.
Yeah, they be trying to squeeze it. You gotta be real gentle, real careful. You know, don't get up the boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh Lord, and pop my titty. I just can't imagine, man. That just don't even go in the right sentence. Not even gonna lie, that's I'll hit them. All right, let's go ahead and go. Let's go to another topic because, yeah, you should have brought that one up. I ain't gonna lie, I was so thinking about that all day. I was like, this is the only thing that's interesting right now is this boob job shit. I'm looking like, oh Lord, they really on here talking about getting breast implants. I thought it was something to do with the nipple thing, like getting it smaller or bigger. I ain't know what it was. Not gonna lie to you. hmm Bobby said they malfunction. All right.
Okay. So you're right. I did ask. Meme Walker said, you asked Linda, it's your fault. I did ask. However, what are your thoughts, Gio? So Yara's in recovery, right? So she had the surgery. It was elective surgery. But she knew that Jovi had booked a trip to South Africa. So for the
Mm.
first 10 days, he was there to take care of her, and then he went on his trip. And she felt like he left her alone, and she had to really rely on Miss Gwen to help her take care of Mila. What were your thoughts on that?
I think that Miss
Should he have
Gwen
gone or
deserves.
should he have stayed?
I think he should have. Man, that's a hard one. I think really, if that's your wife and you know and you got a baby with her, just stay. You know, you can put that stuff to the side. I ain't finna just go to Africa. But if you got stuff planned and you already paid for your trip, and she can't go, and you got a mom that can help you out and help your wife out, man. If she telling you to go, if your wife saying, "Hey, I want you to go have fun," go. You know, like go. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think everybody was just crawling on Jovi's back about something. They was harping on something that was so dumb to even harp on. Like they doing better than half the people up there. Just to be honest, like they might go through their little shit, but they doing better. Like they lead together. They ain't really arguing. They handle their shit. So I think that was the dumbest thing for people to get mad at him about. Like then they was coming, man. Yeah, go ahead, Linda. I think that was dumb. If you feel like he was gonna go, he should just go. Yeah, you talk to your wife about it. If she say go, that should be it. Nobody
That's
else
it.
should burden
That's how
him.
I feel. I feel like Yara knew that this trip was pre-booked, pre-planned, pre-paid for. She decided that she was going to get her augmentation at the same time that he was leaving for the trip, and then gave her blessings for him to go because she wanted him to be happy. So you decided you could get your boobs done at any time. You could have
Yeah.
got them done when he came back. You could have got them done before he left. It happened to fall in the time frame that he was leaving, and you were okay with it. So I don't understand why people are saying, oh, he's selfish and he only thinks of himself. No, he had a full-on conversation with his wife, and his wife said that she was okay with him going, and the relationship is those two people. So if
Mhm.
she's okay, and he's okay. Who are we to say, oh, Jovi, you shouldn't have gone. You should have stayed there. He was there for the first 10 days, don't forget. So the critical part, he was there. The rest of her recovery, she chose to have it at that same time. So that's on you.
Yeah. And then Angela, here she
365
goes.
days in a year. You could have chosen any of the other days.
Yep. And then you hear Angela, oh, you can't leave, yo. You that's wrong. You shouldn't have left her. Angela, what are you talking about? Like, your marriage is thousands of miles from each other. They is together. Angela's like, oh, she needed you for support. He has a support system. His mom's in Louisiana. Yara ain't missing out on nothing. The baby is taken care of. Like, I just didn't like when Angela butted in and tried to say that, oh, she needed you and you need to be there for her. He is there for her. Let's not forget, he's been helping her. He's been doing what a husband is supposed to do. Go to work, don't cheat. Regardless if he go to the strip club, who gives a damn? If Yara let him go at this point, who gives a damn? That's their marriage. Let them live it.
Natatat says, do you think she had to travel to LA for her surgery? Yeah, she was. Her and Jovi and Milo were in LA. And they documented it. I talked about it a lot. They showed a lot of videos. So yeah, Dr. Obeng is in Beverly Hills. They came out and stayed in Beverly Hills. They were looking for like recommendations. I told them to go to Crustaceans out in Beverly Hills because it's amazing. It's an amazing. What? Why are you laughing?
You go to where?
The restaurant Crustacean.
Where's that at?
In Beverly Hills.
Restaurant Crustacean? You say restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
I never even heard of that.
I'm teaching you a lot of things today.
Okay, I might have to go there. Pop up.
Rebecca says, personally, if I knew he had the trip plan and wanted him with me, I would have waited for surgery. But if Yara is cool with it, then what's the issue? That part, Rebecca, that part.
That whole part.
All right. So one of the things I thought was interesting was Mrs. Gwen said to her own son that he needed to grow up because now he's a dad and a husband, which I think is interesting because I do think that from the Jovi we first met to the Jovi we're seeing now that he's definitely matured. Do you think he's matured a little bit?
I think just a tad little bit. He ain't out really drinking as much, ever since Mila came in his life, like his daughter. I don't see. You remember how we first met him in Yara? He used to have beer in the refrigerator. Oh, I need this for breakfast. I don't see him doing that no more. So he's dressing a little bit decent, like he's looking like a matured adult, like a matured man. Like he's dressing like a man now. So I think he matured a lot, just a tad bit.
I think so. Okay, so let me see if I can find something here for you. Here. Are there pictures? Okay, so a lot of you guys in the live chat are asking about Crustacean Restaurant. So I went ahead and pulled up their dinner menu. Okay, so this is what it is. Crustacean Beverly Hills. So filet mignon, you can see steamed shrimp and lobster and dumplings, mussels, truffle chicken, pan-seared dumplings, salt and pepper calamari. They have sashimi, large plates. They all do the chef special thing. The Big Glory Bay King salmon, vegan options, the Himalayan salt block steak. I mean, they're not messing around, you guys. It's like it's a whole thing.
What was that price? Was that 500 or 52? I couldn't see like fully. Like, was that 500?
Which one?
Like, I seen 500. I know I ain't seen no $500 plate.
I don't think I was looking at the prices. Let me look. 52, 98, 105.
Oh, it's 20. I said, okay, that's a dollar sign right there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's 20. Oh, that's pretty cheap. That's not bad.
Yeah.
They're pretty cheap. They're affordable. But they do look like a high-class restaurant. Like the way they do their dishes look really decent.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. Okay. Linda know her shit.
You know what, Juice? You just. Ugh. All right, so then we're still on Jovi and Yara, and then Andre jumps in, and I feel Andre is another one of those bullies. He likes to just pick on people, so
Yeah.
he's picking on Jovi as well as blaming Yara because she's the one that allowed him to go to South Africa. And I was like, but why don't you kind of flip the script and look at your own relationship? Because your wife can't even speak to her family because of you.
Yeah. That whole damn
I'm just
part.
saying, you're
That's
pointing all
real.
these fingers, blaming all these people, and yet you're not taking responsibility and have yet to take responsibility for your role in the rift in her family. So at the end of the day, Yara's unbothered. She's like, it's all good. He wanted to go. I said he could go, so he went. Now we talked about the second child. So they talked about how Jovi's like, I want to have a second baby. And Mrs. Gwen says, come on, you guys can barely handle one kid. You're not going to about to have two. Like, you guys can't handle it. And then Andre says the same thing, says that Jovi is not really even that good looking. And he's just trying to lock Yara down because he's afraid that she's going to leave him. And they say you can't have a baby and let someone else raise that baby, and you can't just call your mom, and then now you guys are thinking of moving away and you're not going to have the support of Gwen, all the things. I first of all thought that Andre again needs to mind his own business, because if Andre feels like he's the prize, he has another thing coming.
That part.
Okay. Because if anyone's afraid, when people say things, I sometimes feel like, are you saying it because that's something that you're thinking in your own life? Like, are you scared because you thought you were going to get deported, so you quickly knocked up your wife again so that there's a second child, so that she doesn't also leave you because you've isolated her from her family? And we all see how you talk to her. And I've said in the past that I fear for her. That isolation is very controlling and manipulative behavior. And a lot of people, and I'm not saying it's him, but a lot of people in those situations are in DV situations. And, DV can look like a lot of things. You don't necessarily, it's not only physical, it can be emotional, it can be financial.
Yeah.
And I see that in him. And I'm not saying that that's what he's doing, but I'm just saying, like, you're pointing at Jovi, saying Jovi, is scared that his wife is going to leave him because she's too good for him. But maybe you're talking about your own situation, and that's why you knocked up your wife when you had the threat of being deported.
Yep. I agree with you all the way on that one, Linda. I really don't like Andre butting into everybody's situation, because if you think about it, look at what he's going through. He can't even get along with Charlie still. Because of he's too immature in the mind to grow up and realize that this is your wife's brother. You should not be beefing with him, trying to fight him. You should be actually trying to accommodate and fix this relationship and have the whole family come together. It's not going to work if he keeps doing that, because eventually Elizabeth will get up and leave your ass. And so he's so dumb talking about Jovi, he better worry about how Elizabeth looking at him.
That part. That part. So then Angela, who again, I feel like they medicated her or something. Maybe they put something in her water backstage and she didn't know about it, because she sat there. You know how like parents, when they're traveling with their children, some of them give them melatonin. So that they sleep, or like back in the day, I can't remember if it's like rum or something, but back in the day, people said that they would put like some type of alcohol on
Fireball whiskey
on the pacifier whiskey, and then knock the kid out. Whatever it is, they did something to Angela, because there is no way that she sat there and not try to be the center of attention and not like get all riled up. I'm convinced they put something in her drink and she drank it, she didn't know, and then she just sat there like boobies all out, friggin' hair still not matching the extensions. I'm mad about it all the time. Like, I'm not mad at extensions. Do you? Do you, boo? I'll do extensions all day long, but I'm not going to have fake ass bullshit straw synthetic hair. That's what I'm not about to do. And what I'm not about to do is have my hair not match my natural hair. That's what I'm not about to do. And if you're spending all this money to travel all over the place, to get your boobies did, to pull out the fat from your body, to get your nails did, then go ahead and spend that extra couple $100 and get your hair done properly. And if you need referrals, I can refer you to plenty of stylists that would be more than happy to fly out to you to get your shit straight.
I don't even know braiders, Angela, so you probably not gonna want to mess with me. They're gonna pull your hair.
So the one thing Angela does say is that she says that Jovi's scared to lose Yara, and that's why he wants to get her pregnant. And I was like, what do you know about relationships? Because now that I come to think of it, you and Michael, yeah, you've been together for 5 years, but you haven't been together for more than a month total. You went out to Nigeria, 2-3 times? And you spent at the most a week there at the most. So in the 5 years, that's like a month in real life. What do you know about relationships? And you're supposedly 57, and you want to give this couple who is together day in and day out advice, and you want to judge them. Again, you might want to look at your own backyard, because you're the same person that's throwing cake in your supposed husband's face. You're the same person that's calling him, threatening him, and pointing into the camera phone that what he can and cannot do, like he's not a grown ass man. Now, go ahead.
Where the hell is Angela getting all this money from to keep flying back and forth from Africa like that?
Oh, Gio, she's not the one that's paying.
TLC obviously paying it.
See, the production pays for it. Sharp Entertainment pays for her flights. She ain't going nowhere. That woman has $0.00. Literally. 0 cents. So, the other thing that I didn't like was the fact that Libby and Andre were shaming Yara and Jovi for using Gwen, Mrs. Gwen, as their support system, and Mila staying and Mila like getting babysat by Mrs. Gwen. I was like, do you guys not remember, Gio, that when Libby decided that she was going to go back to work, she was working from home, and then she got a nanny, even though she was at home working. Yeah. She wanted and hired a nanny. What are you friggin' talking about? So you're gonna talk shit about grandma taking care of grandbaby, but you're gonna hire outside nanny when you're working from home?
Why don't she pay Gwen some money? I mean, we keep it in the family in the South, especially. But if it's my brother watching my kids, I'm gonna pay him like 20 a day, 40 a day. But
what I'm saying, Gio, what I'm saying is that Libby is the one that was at home working and hiring a nanny, but then turning it around and saying that Yara and Jovi were relying on Miss Gwen too much. And I was like, well, what are you talking about?
Who did that again?
So
Elizabeth?
Libby,
Man,
Elizabeth.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. The cartoon special teen network singer. The ABC channel singer? No. Hell no. She got a nanny at home, and that's the man from Moldova, her husband. He is the man.
That's right. He didn't work for years.
That part.
Remember, he didn't work for years.
Kids.
And the reason he got his real estate license is because of Chuck. Let's not forget that. The reason why they have the house that they have is because of Chuck. They use Chuck's money to fund their lifestyle. That part. Let's not forget. All right. My note literally says, Ed said some things. I ignored it. Ed doesn't know shit. And I'm sorry to say this, because I'm sorry, not sorry, but I'm going to say this. It's really terrible. Don't come for me, but this is how I feel. I feel like if he's going to body shame Elizabeth, not Elizabeth, if he's going to body shame Liz and tell Liz that she needs to go to the gym and get back to how she used to look. I need him to really take a moment and look at himself because he looks ridiculous. You know what he looks like? That
What?
he has the audacity to talk shit about how someone else looks like. You know that nursery rhyme, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Humpty
Humpty
Dumpty had
Dumpty
a
had a
great
great
fall.
fall. How
He
dare
look
you?
like, you know what? Hey,
How dare
you
you?
better than me. He look like SpongeBob. No, SpongeBob ain't got no type of neck. He only got arms and legs. That's all what he got.
How dare you?
Head, body, arms, legs. That's it. He shouldn't be talking about nobody sitting out there looking like this.
I mean, like, how dare you? Let me.
Uh-uh. Little body syndrome. Hell no. He better not talk about nobody else. No neck. He know how in Africa they used to put the thing on people body. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Linda, when they put the thing when they used to deform the baby's head. What they call that? They put the
What are you
thing.
talking about? Africans did what?
Yeah, you know how back in the day, like they used to put the thing on the baby head and make it stretch out. Or they used to put the rings around the rings. Yeah, they put the rings on their neck. He need them rings. If he get the rings on his neck, he'll actually be a human again. You know, other than that, he is not a human. He look at the chain. What is he putting it on? Shoulders? Like there's nothing there. He don't even have a chin. He shouldn't even be body shaming nobody looking like that. I'm serious. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He needs some milk.
All
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is that he needs to not be pointing a finger when really he should be looking at himself. If you want someone to do something and be a certain way, you best believe that if you're telling her to go to the gym, you need to be joining her at said gym.
Now he need to be going to the nearest surgery operation room, getting neck um, deduction. I'm not deduction, but uh, shit, he need to add some neck on that neck. I don't know. No, he need to lose some
Scandalous.
body weight too. Some her head has no neck for a necklace. That part, a whole necklace, and ain't got no neck.
So, moving on. Yara talked about, the relationship she has with Mrs. Gwen. What are you laughing about?
Look what Ventures just said.
Who? Who?
Ventures just wrote.
Oh, neck augmentation. That part, Natatat. Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
Oh, that part.
That part. Okay, so Yara started talking about her relationship with Mrs. Gwen and how they had that big fight with Mrs. Gwen, Jovi, and herself, and how she was feeling depressed, she was feeling lonely, and she was used to having her mom around. And because she didn't have her mom around, she just expected Mrs. Gwen to be around. And then Jovi talked about how, if they didn't have Mila, if they didn't have a baby, they'd probably be divorced by now, but Mila is what has brought them close. And I know you're a dad. Do you feel like children can keep a marriage together?
To be honest with you, no. If it's doomed, it's just doomed. Like no. So I think that was just them bullshit and just trying to beat around the bush, just trying to say it in a nice way, like, oh, we're doing it for Mila. No. You're doing it because you really want to be with that person. That's what it really boils down to. It doesn't matter about not trying to be rude to them, but no, the baby, y'all can take care of that baby separated. No difference. Like
Yeah.
it shouldn't be together with somebody just for a child. No. That's the case, leave.
Exactly. And you know what? If that's the only reason you're with someone, it's never going to last. And those children pick up on it. So if you're unhappy,
Exactly.
then no amount of babies is going to make you close. And no amount of babies is going to save that marriage. If the marriage is done, it's done.
Exactly.
You have to want to be with that person. And you have to also want to put the work in order to stay with that person, because marriage is work. right?
Yep.
And having kids on top of that, if your marriage is not on a solid foundation, then guess what? Having kids is just going to make that foundation crack more because
Exactly.
it adds another stress to your life. Yes, it adds all the love and family and all of that, but it's work too, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
the two people have to be solid in their relationships. A kid is not going to bring them closer together, in my opinion. Yes, closer as in your family, but it's not going to solidify your relationship.
That part you got to work on that, especially with the marriage. You got to work on it.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, absolutely. So the other part that I wanted to know what the live chat thinks, and I also want to know what you think, is Yara made it very clear that she makes her own money. And so they have a joint account, and then she also has her own account with her own money. And with her own money, she wants to buy a place somewhere in Europe in her own name and in her daughter's name. What are your thoughts on that?
I
And what are
think
your thoughts
that's
at that in the live chat? If you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. But what are your thoughts of that? If you're married and your partner says, "Hey, I want to go and buy this property, and this property I only want in my name," how would you feel about it? Gio, you go first.
man, I'm gonna say that's selfish as shit because the property that they're in right now, the apartment, I think you should involve your partner with that, especially if you're married. And it's a big difference when you're married to somebody. You got to involve your partner with that. Straight up, you can't just go somewhere and be like, "Oh, let me put my name on this, and this is mine. Just in case something happen, I got some." If you're thinking about something already happening, then yeah, something gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because you're already putting that out in the atmosphere. But that shit dead wrong for her to. Oh, I'm gonna go get a place somewhere else and put it in my name. What? You are married? You supposed to have Jovi name on that too. Like being honest.
I mean, you guys already know how I feel. You guys came for me, and I told you my money is your money is my money in my relationship. If I'm married to you, yeah, I want to know how much you have in your account, and you can absolutely know what I have in my account. I don't give a rat's ass what y'all said. Y'all came for me and said my money is my money, and no one needs to know. No, that's not how I. For my future husband, we're gonna be all up in each other's business. And I'm not about to go and buy a place and be like, oh, it's going to only be in my name. I would prefer that we did it together because we're building a future together. We're building our lives together. And so I would think that the two of us would be like, hey, let's go buy this property and build an empire together. And
Mhm.
equally, it's mine and it's yours. Not,
Yep.
oh, this is mine. I can buy this place. And then you're sitting on the corner and you can't buy a place. That makes no sense to me.
Hmm.
It
Look what
doesn't make any
pull,
sense.
pull up that comment Nat Tats had wrote. I see that down there. That's a good damn question right there.
What?
That's a Nat Tat had wrote. What would she
Oh,
think if her husband said that?
well, that part, right? So your husband goes and buys the place and says, "Oh, peace out. It's going to be in my name only." It's the same thing. I think that people need to think about it. If you're actually, I'm not talking about like dating or whatever. I'm saying if you're
Married.
married to someone, part of that marriage is a commitment. And
Hmm.
to me, part of that is we're growing together for our future together. Okay, so the other thing we learn about Jovi and Yara, is that she wants to get out of New Orleans. She's called it a lot of things over the years, swampland. She hates it. She thinks it's dirty, that it smells. And so she's not been happy in New Orleans. So Jovi is thinking of moving his family to Florida. And in the meantime, we find out that Mrs. Gwen and her husband just bought property to build a home closer to them. I felt for her. What did you think?
I think that that's wrong for her to just leave New Orleans like that when, especially the way prices are going up in equity and houses and stuff like that. Like man, a house is something that's really good to have. So I think you're tripping. She thinks she gonna get away by going to Florida. Okay, you better look at what be happening during spring break. Yeah, look, you see how many people be at them beaches.
That's just
You,
Miami. You know what's so
but now
interesting?
Florida known for something. Florida known for I ain't trying to clown Florida, nothing like that, but people have said Florida is a little bit dirty too in certain spots. Yeah. Hmm. But Florida is clean in certain spots too. Not all of Florida is dirty. But she's not finna just go to like living by the beach. That shit costs money. So Yara just living in fantasy land right now, thinking that her little business or whatever, big business, is gonna get her at a high class place and where she can just walk the beach on a scroll and nobody's there. There's gonna be hella people. There's gonna be drunk people there throwing up on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Peeing on the beach. All types of shitting on the beach. They're gonna be doing everything on the beach. Come on, man. She just don't like. I think she just don't like America. Period. She just don't want to say it.
Well, she likes the places that she thinks are good places, right? Like so, like the Miamis, the Los Angeles, the New York. She likes those big city living. One of the things I will say is I have spent a lot of time in Florida, and Florida is not just South Florida, you guys. And if you haven't been, it really depends on where you're going to live, because you got to also remember that Florida is on that Bible Belt, right? And so North Florida is not the same as South Florida. Don't get it twisted, right? So you have to want to live a specific type of way. And just like Holloway, April said, Holloway Legal, what part of Florida? Because it's a lot of swamp too. That's what I'm saying. Like yes, there's South Florida, which everyone knows, but Florida is a big state, and not everything is beaches and parties and big city living. I'll tell you that. So I personally think that if anything, they should buy property in Florida and maybe make it a rental place. And in the summers or whatever, they can go and hang out there. But I think that they should stay in New Orleans, because as they grow their family, they're going to really want to be around family more. And having the support of Mrs. Gwen and her husband is going to, especially if they want to have another baby, is just going to help them. And I think that as you get older and as your kids get older, you find out that, you know what, family really is important and you want to be closer to family. That's just my personal opinion. I think they should stay in New Orleans, buy a place in New Orleans, close to wherever this property is that Gwen brought property, and just leave it at that.
You got to think about it though. The Queen get that apartment, I'm at that place, she got a house. They're in an apartment, studio, whatever. What if things go bad for them? They can go to Gwen. Gwen gonna open up her doors. Now, if they in Florida, who they gonna run to? You know, like, things ain't always meant to be perfect. You know, like, it's life. We gotta live it. So shit might just occur and happen. So you never know.
Yep. Natatat says, some say the grass is always greener on the other side, but the grass is greener where you water it and take care of it. Exactly.
That part, I like that.
Exactly.
I like that.
Okay, so then this is the part that got to me, y'all. And some of you may know it and some of you may not know it. So then they showed Yara's friend Adele.
Oh,
do you remember Adele the blonde? Not Symphony, spelled Cymphony, but Adele. So Adele was the one from the flashback that they showed that was wearing the black dress, who said that Yara was out of Jovi's league. Do you remember that?
I remember.
Okay, so listen. First of all, do you guys know what happened with this chick? Anyone watch my videos? This fool right here, this Adele, she got charged, and I'm just paraphrasing. You can check my YouTube video out, but she got charged for smuggling drugs, running drugs, a whole drug cartel ring where it was drugs and money and stolen cars, and it was like a group of them. So it was like a whole ring. So she got arrested, y'all. She is no state. She is no one to talk about who's better than who, because now, meanwhile, she's sitting up with all of these charges, and she's about to spend the next 25 years in jail. So I was actually surprised that TLC showed that clip, because she is like an alleged criminal.
Oh yeah, alleged my ass. She is a criminal. Like that. Okay. She was part of it, so she go do the crime, do the time. Damn it, that crime don't have no color on it.
So I was just like, I can't believe that we're listening to this fool. We're listening to Adele talk about who's good for who. That's why when Usman was like, yeah, I don't even think you should hang out with them, I was like, you know what? Usman's sounding like the voice of reason, which is frightening to me, but he's not wrong. So
He
then
wasn't.
Symphony joins, and Jovi says, you know, I would prefer Yara stay away from them all. Yeah, because you know what? If Symphony and Adele were such good friends and then they brought Yara into it, birds of a feather flock together. Just because Symphony is not in jail doesn't mean that she didn't know what her bestie was doing. Doesn't she could be like a peripheral player in all of this? You never know.
Did you see what Jovi said to her? It was like, well, Jovi, what do you think? Jovi was like, yeah, I think you don't need to be hanging out with them.
Yeah,
And I
Jovi
seen a
said he
look
would
on his
prefer Yara
face.
stay away from them.
Yeah, I seen a look on Jovi's face, and he looked it pissed off. Like, I know you not hanging out with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got reputation. I'm gonna tell you one thing about Louisiana. We got this thing called everybody talk. And that don't mean just the streets. I'm talking about everybody know everybody business. Straight up. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you in Louisiana, we know who's selling the drugs. We know who's doing the shootings. We know who gang banging. We know everything. And the grandmas know them too. Everybody know everything. We keep it in the community. And don't nobody talk to the police about it. We just know it. You know? So yeah.
Well, I do watch a lot of the first 48, and I will say that, you know, y'all talk about, you know, snitches get stitches, but as soon as you're facing 25 years to life, all of a sudden, all those fools become snitches. Like, oh, well, what Day Day said was
But those are the
that,
people who's in the crime. The people who's not in it, they have no reason to open their mouth. Like if you go and look up Louisiana, first 48 don't come to Louisiana. And it's a reason for that. It's a reason for that. I'll tell you about it later. But they
I
don't
think
come
in
to
old
Louisiana.
episodes, there were New Orleans.
Yep,
They-
in New Orleans, but they don't
yeah.
come to Shreveport or Baton Rouge no more. They don't come.
So then the other thing that I thought was interesting with this symphony girl is that she is talking all this crap about having to be independent and not dependent on your husband, and she's now moved because her relationship didn't work out and now she's a single mom. And again, you know, there are plenty of single moms, and you know what? I respect you. The grind is hard and all of that stuff, but it's almost like she wanted Yara to also be a single mom. Like, hey, if I can do it,
Yeah,
you can do it. And I don't think that that's the direction that Yara and Jovi are trying to go. I think that they're trying to stay married and work on their relationship. And so Symphony can, you know, take her advice elsewhere.
yeah, I agree with that one on you on that. I don't like her either. I can just see she conniving, real conniving. Mm-mm. Can't trust them.
What does this mean? New Orleans is not Louisiana. Louisiana is not New Orleans.
I really don't know, to be honest with you, because Louisiana is the state and New Orleans is in Louisiana. When I'm talking in Pacific of Louisiana, I'm talking about everywhere from Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Alexandria, Bossier City, New Orleans. You know, like the list can go on. Like
Yeah, I don't understand that
I don't
statement, but
understand.
I thought
New
maybe you
Orleans
would.
is not Louisiana. Louisiana is not New Orleans. No, Louisiana is in New Orleans. I mean, yeah, no, New Orleans is in. You got me confused. New Orleans is in Louisiana. It's damn near this at the bottom. It's at the
Yeah, I
bottom
don't
of
know
the
what it means.
boot.
I thought maybe it was like an inside something. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. We're back to Ed. Ed decides that he's jumping in. He tells Jovi that he doesn't like Jovi. He calls Jovi a crybaby, and says that Yara is gonna bolt to Europe and leave Jovi behind. And it made me mad. And why it made me mad is because Ed, you've had one relationship in your life where you were married, and then this phony relationship. Because I'm not claiming Rose as a relationship. Everyone's like, "Oh, that was your fiance." Well, they spent like a week together, and she
Yeah,
hated him and left him. So that a real relationship. And then
no.
now with Liz, y'all broke up like 10 times. So is that a real relationship? You clearly don't know how to be in a relationship. And again, you told us that you were single for 30 years. 30. 30. No relationships prior to, like, in high school or anything. You met the one girl when you were in university, got married, didn't work out, got divorced, and then single this whole time. And now you fucked up with Rose and you really fucked up with Liz. And you're trying to act like you're the catch and you know what relationships are. You don't. And
Cut it
again,
out.
you're another big candidate, in my opinion, for therapy. You went a couple of times and think that you're good. You're not. You have barely scratched the surface.
But you know what Ed did that for? He was he I knew what he was doing. He was mad. Ed was mad because everybody teamed up on his ass last week. So he
Sure
was just being
was.
an asshole. Like he was acting like Ed was acting like a straight teenager, just trying to bully people. But damn, I almost got his ass whooped.
Seriously. Jenny went off on Ed, and Ed's like, "You had your turn yesterday. Shut up."
That part.
And Jenny's like, "Kiss my ass. You've insulted everyone here." She tells him to shut up and go away, calls him the worst thing ever. And she just said everything that we've all felt. I was like, "Go ahead, Jenny. Go ahead. Handle your business."
That part.
Ed tells Jovi that he's not man enough to manage his family and that he's a wuss and a pussy. And I was like, again, you've been single for 30 years. Like, what? What we're not about to do is take any type of advice from you, shorty. What we're not about to do is listen to you talk about someone else being a wuss when
That
you
part.
wore pink Crocs to the tell-all. While you drive your little scooter with your puppies on in a backpack, while you tattooed your own face, Big Ed, on your leg, while you made stickers. What grown man makes stickers? What grown man makes stickers
I'm with a
of
lot of
their
people.
own face and put and plaster the? I mean, again, I could go on, but I'm trying to be on my best behavior. But what you're not about to do is call someone else a pussy and a wuss when you haven't obviously looked directly in a mirror anytime.
You ever seen a movie called 13 Cameras, Linda?
No.
Ed looked like that dude on 13 Cameras with them glasses just shorter. That's who he looked like. If y'all don't know what that movie is, go look it up. Yeah, he a weird person. Really weird. I seen his suitcase with the sticker on it of his face. I'm like, dude, he had a fake dollar bill with his face on
He's
it.
just a
Why?
mess. He's a mess. And just like Mrs. Gwen said, Ed, how old are you? Like, you're closer to 60 than anything. So, like, why are you acting like you're a teenager? Why are you acting like, your words, a pussy and a wuss?
That part. Ed was being just really rude last night. And I'm like, bro, I mean tonight, and I was like, bro, somebody don't. I'm glad Jenny. I ain't gonna lie, I don't really care for Jenny, but tonight Jenny been doing a lot on the tell all to make people like.
Jenny was a hero.
Thank you.
Jenny's
I
like,
was
I've
like,
had
you know
enough of
what?
this
Thank
bullshit.
you.
This little munchkin, and she calls him Small Ed, is not about to run up in here and talk crazy and bully everyone when you barely come to the handle of the door of a car. Like, what you're not about to do is bully me. That's what you're not about to do. You're not going to talk crazy when you can barely open the door of the hotel because you're head to head with the handle. Like, stop it. Just stop it.
Then
And
he
so,
always be turning. I'll be like, bro, if you don't sit your ass.
listen, exactly. If you don't just sit your ass down, fool. Um. Anyway, she says that Jenny says she's had enough of little Ed, and then Ed tries to, like, man up and buck up against everyone and says, because he was talking crazy to everyone on the panel, and said that everyone that got it today had it coming. He said. But what was interesting to me, and so you guys, that was the end of the tell-all, like, on camera, on stage. They wrapped, Sean left, and then they all went back to the hotel and went to the bar. And then the last hour and 20 minutes was just them all interacting, which was really weird. Like, in my opinion, unnecessary. I didn't need to see you guys hang out at the bar because you guys weren't doing anything fun at the bar.
Yeah.
But here we are. So, um, Bilal and Shida happy. They said this tell-all was better than last time. They felt really connected, and that's only because Shida didn't air her dirty laundry. Because Bilal probably checked her, and she was sad the last tell-all because she told their dirty laundry, and this time she didn't say anything. And because she didn't say anything, guess what? Bilal wants to go half on a baby with her, and guess what? Bilal's not going to have joint bank account with her. Oh, and guess what? He's being romantic and threw rose petals and chocolate all over the bedroom, and they're gonna try to start making a baby today. But that was all because she didn't say shit. So she got rewarded because she didn't say shit.
That room looked nice though. What I tell you about that?
Did it?
That room looked nice. He had to look at them if them covers and them sheets ready, and they make their body warm. Oh yeah, they might get a baby tonight. That night, she might be pregnant now from that night.
You're hilarious. C. Cruz said she got her 3 B's: a baby, a bank account, and the business.
Lord Jesus, somebody come get C. Cruz phone or computer or something because she just told the truth.
Truth, facts, Cruz, facts. Okay, so Angela tries to make this gross joke that she's going to move to Florida and date Chuck. And I was like, yeah, no one wants to see that, including
Nobody
Chuck.
want them black titties. No. Mm-mm.
We find out that Yara hates Ed, doesn't want to have anything to do with Ed, doesn't want to talk about Ed, doesn't want to look at Ed, doesn't want to interact with Ed. Jovi really wants to talk to Ed and have him apologize to Yara and Jenny for disrespecting them. And so they're in the car, leaving the tell-all. And Jovi's like, you really talk to women terribly, and you need to stop doing that. And then what did he do, Gio? He made himself the victim and said, well, Liz spent the whole afternoon trying to destroy me. Fuck off. Just stop it.
He destroyed himself.
The narcissist is always going to be the victim. The narcissist can always do no wrong. The narcissist is always going to be like, it's you, it's not me. And like, Ed got called out by all the cast members. And that's why, even when they went back to the bar, do you notice that he left early? He tried to manipulate Liz, and Liz like, I'm having a conversation, I can't go. And so he's like, oh, I have to get up early in the morning because I have a speaking engagement in Boston, and left. No, you left because none of your cast members want to fuck with you.
Yeah. But before that, you seen what Jovi told his ass? he walking around talking shit with that wine glass. He didn't get him a few shots of wine in, and he tripping to my some. Oh yeah, nobody care, and who gives a damn? Man, Jovi was like, you always talking bullshit. He was like, somebody, you better be lucky these cameras in this motherfucker rolling, and somebody will beat you.
That part.
I was like, hey, you about to get jumped right now. Like,
that part.
These cameras ain't rolling, they were gonna kick your ass.
That part.
Jump you.
So then Angela arrives. She's like, oh, you guys started the party without me?
Lord.
Angela, again, you're not the center of everyone's world. No one cares. And then it's interesting to me. Did you notice how her and Andre kind
the
of
two
got
smokers, along? The secret smoker.
They got along, though. I was like, that says a lot about Andre's personality, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And so Andre's like, oh, yeah, you should just leave Michael because he doesn't love you. And then Angela tries to start to play the victim again, saying like she's going to take time for herself and find herself. And she doesn't know. Oh, Angela, no one wants you. So you're not going to leave Michael anytime soon because no one's trying to check for you. No one's trying to marry you. No one's trying to wife you up. So just settle down. Start treating Michael better because there's not going to be anyone else lined up for you.
Angela was trying to get with the damn bartender.
Right. And that part when she...
that shit was pitiful.
When she tried to to pick up and flirt with the bartender and say that she wanted to go explore and all the sexy. I was just like, oh my God, I can't deal
'Cause
with
I
it.
might be getting a divorce soon. I
Oh,
might be getting. You got some cousin or uncle? I said, what did they have? Now you went from Africa. Now you're trying to go to Mexico. Come on, what is you trying to do? You got to keep afloat and stay on the show. But
disgusting.
it's
Disgusting.
nasty.
I wanted to talk a little bit about Liz because they were really focusing on her. So Liz, she's feeling awkward. She's talking to Jenny and Kim. Jenny says that Ed is disrespectful to everyone. And she says to Liz, like, how can you actually ever take him seriously? You deserve so much better. Please don't go back to him. Please don't go back to him. Please do not go back to him. Liz is like, yeah, I want to be a role model for my daughter. And by the end of the tell-all, Liz is saying, yeah, it's definitely over. She's going to focus on herself, she says. She's done for good this time. I swear it's the last breakup. And you know what? I was like, I don't believe her.
It was a lie.
I don't believe her.
It was a lie. It was a lie.
I don't believe her. That's what's unfortunate. I don't believe her.
You know
Ed
what, Lindy? Did you see the tabloids yet?
He even manipulated her and called whoever he called in Boston to make sure that she didn't come, which was an absolute power move on his part and not in a good way. And yet the next day she thought she was still traveling back to San Diego with him. I was like, why would you even want to do that?
Yeah.
Outrageous. I want to talk about, so Ed chases her down. Yeah, we know about that. Ed is hated by everyone. Ew. And then Angela comes and joins Jenny and Kimberly and Liz. Do you remember that part? And then Angela starts asking them all about their sex lives. And then Kimberly mentions the power bike move with Usman.
What? That's what I was trying to figure out. What is the power bike? What is that?
I have no idea.
My mind was like everywhere when I heard her say that. I said, man, is that like you in it? And then you, yeah, I don't even want to say what I want to say because my mind be going all the way other places. Like you in a bike position, like your legs up in the air, you hold on the bed, like pedaling your feet like that while no, hell to no. I think that's something she made up.
I don't think they ever had sex.
I don't either.
I'm sticking to that. And so if there is a power bike move that they had, good on them, but I just don't believe it. I don't believe they had sex. I never saw any chemistry on screen. I never saw any chemistry whatsoever. They weren't lovey-dovey. They don't spend every day together. And if you guys know anything about long-distance relationships, when you go, you can barely get out of the bed because you guys know that you don't have a lot of time together. And I didn't see any of that with them. I didn't see any kissy. Barely, even when they got engaged, they like hugged. I don't believe it. And then when Angela was asking about Jenny's sex life, and Jenny was like, I'm not participating in whatever this is that you're doing. Like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in your sex life, and I'm not interested in talking to you because at the end of the day, they don't really like Angela either.
And Angela don't like nan one of them either. Like, so I don't know why she trying to fake it and give her fake ass advice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that part.
Be real.
So then Angela and Kim go off to smoke, and then they end up back at Angela's room, and they're having like a one-on-one conversation. Angela tells Kim that Usman is a liar. He lies a lot. To be careful. She doesn't trust him. And that, she didn't really like Kim in the beginning, but she likes her now because Kim minded her own business and didn't stand up for Usman. So now Angela likes her. And this is true. Someone in the live chat said, LOL, Natatat said, and then Kim told Angela, I love you. And Angela was like, nah, I don't know you like that yet, so I can't say if I love you. Do you remember that part?
Yeah. It was in the room on the drunk moment.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, she's not lying. She's telling you that because she doesn't really have friends.
Drunk man, drunk woman don't tell no lies. That's how I look at it.
That part. That's it. That's it. Bilal set up that romantic room for after the bar. He agrees to joint bank account, to babies, to the business moving forward. And really, that was the tell-all. I was underwhelmed. I was underwhelmed. Please bring back the 10-hour tell-all that leaked, because that shit was entertaining.
Yeah.
This was like, you guys stretched it out for 4 parts. This last part wasn't even really a part. It was like 30 minutes. If you're going to have them at the bar, then at least have them at the bar doing fun things, getting liquored up and talking shit about everything. But this like little controlled, I don't know what it was. It was just like lackluster.
Yeah, it was really like uh Blaine, like Blaine, like just boring as shit. They wasn't really doing nothing. Also, you forgot to talk about now. What was interesting was seeing Yara and Jovi leave. It wasn't even Angela. We know Angela a flirt and all that extra shit. She trying to flirt with everybody, named mama, dad, everybody. But it was interesting seeing Jovi and Yara leave at the end, because the way they kind of did not leave that tell all happy at all. They didn't. They did not. And
Well,
it
Jovi's
looked like
feelings were
Jovi
hurt.
pissed off at Yara. Yara got pissed off at Jovi. I'm like, y'all finna put them in the same car? Yara like, what an Uber, what an Uber, what an Uber. Jovi was like, it's gonna be here in 5 minutes. And he just looked and she kept trying to talk to him. And when a man ignores his wife, he is pissed. He kept just ignoring her for a good like 3 minutes. He just looked off with them glasses on. He wouldn't even study.
Well, because he tried to explain to her that A, she didn't stand up for him, and B, she never apologized to him. And she basically is like, what, you want me to say sorry, sorry, sorry? She's like, I'm not going to do that. And that A, hurt his feelings, and B, pissed him off.
Yeah, yep. And that's understandable though. That's your husband. You shouldn't be doing him like that. If he ain't doing you like that, don't do him like that.
That, and at some point, you also have to like take accountability for your own actions, and you can't always be right. And sometimes you have to bite the bullet and say, yeah, you know what? I was wrong in this situation and I apologize. And a sorry can go a very long way.
But I think y'all been around them women too much. You know what I'm saying? You know how certain women will manipulate, even just man too. Man will manipulate a married man. Women will manipulate their friend that's married because they miserable. I think they manipulated her like, don't ever apologize to him. Like, don't you be sorry about nothing. Let him apologize.
But she should see where her friends are now. Her friends are in jail or about to be in jail.
Hell yeah. Your ass better be lucky, y'all, because you could have been next.
Right.
Around them shit. Ain't no telling they slip some on you.
That part.
Like, for real.
That part. That part.
I see why Gwen was not checking for Yara and seeing who she seen. Yara, you seen how Gwen got really quiet when that girl popped up on that thing. She didn't say shit. Gwen got quiet. And why you think that what's real? Why they don't even show the dad no more? I know he ain't gone that damn long. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gone that long.
Who? Jovi's dad?
Yeah.
Because he was never really a part of the show. Like, he's just a peripheral character.
Yeah, but they barely show Gwen either. This whole season, they barely showed Gwen. They showed up what?
Yeah, but they're just the peripherals. They're not the main characters.
But they in Louisiana. They in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? They there. So I don't get why is they showing these girls that nobody gives a damn about. Gwen is likable. Let's just be honest. Gwen is a likable mother.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves her. She's a likable grandma. Everybody loves Gwen.
Yeah.
Why are they showing these miserable ass women that, like you said, got all these drug charges and shit? What the hell is?
Well, I mean, I say that a lot. I say no new friends. Don't bring in these random friends that we don't care about, that we're never going to see again. Like, we're not invested in them. I don't care about Jovi's friend he hadn't seen in 10 years that lives in Germany. I don't care about Yara's friend that she hasn't seen in 3 years that lives in Prague. I don't care about these 3 random blonde chicks Symphony and Adele and whoever the other chick's name was, Special K. I don't care about them. We're never going to see them again. And I just don't think that, and like, Angela brings in new friends every other day, and you see them for 1 minute and then she abandons them the next minute. Like, we're not interested in these randoms that are not going to appear over time. So we don't take their advice personally, because who are you?
Yeah.
What we don't. Why do you have any say? We've been watching the show longer than you've been on the show for 2 minutes, and then in 5 minutes you're not going to even be on the show.
That part.
I can't even remember Angela's friend that she brought to New York. I don't even remember her name. All I know is Angela made her sit outside while she was inside the tell-all.
Yep. Because now that we're done with this one, the tell-all, right? We're done with the whole 90-Day Fiance right now. We're done with the what was this 90-Day Fiance?
So
Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After. We're done with this one. So now we got the other way coming. You know, that's always a new cast with the other way. Who do you which one are they gonna bring back? Like
so Darcy and Stacey comes back tomorrow. I don't care what y'all say. I love watching Darcy and Stacey. They were 100% entertaining. They come back tomorrow. I'm going to be watching MILF Manor because I just can't understand what the hell's going on in that show. So I cover that as well.
MILF Manor? I seen that shit. I seen something. I ain't covering that shit.
It is trifling.
That's too much.
Trifling. It is trifling.
That's too much.
And I just, like, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it, but then I have to watch because I don't know.
How can TLC tape something like that though? These older women going over to a whole place looking for a young man.
Okay, but I don't have a problem with that. First of all, age is just a number. I don't have a problem.
What if it was man?
Hold on. Time out, Gio. I don't have a problem with older women and younger men, or older men and younger women. I don't have a problem with that at all. Okay, my problem with the show is that it's mothers and sons. And the mothers are rubbing up on the sons' bodies, and it's just very weird. And one of the women is 59, and one of the sons is 20. And so it's, again, to me, it's not about age, because age really is a number. And Ed has proven that to us. Ed is almost 60, acting like a teenager. So it's not about that for me. It's about the mother-son situation. And the mom and the sons have to stay in the same room. And then the moms are trying to hook up with the other sons. Where are you going to hook up when your son is in the room? Like, are you going to hook up at the pool? Because you can't hook up in the room where your son is staying with. Like, it's just, I need to know.
What kind of shit is that? What the hell?
I just want to address this. Jojo was never a fake friend. Jojo was actually her best friend and a real friend. And their friendship ended because Angela took advantage of Jojo. So I will not accept the fact that you're saying that Jojo was a fake friend, because Jojo was her real friend, her friend before Angela came on the show. Renee, that's a different story. Renee met Angela on a plane to Las Vegas, and the only reason they became friends is because Renee paid for Angela's room. That's it. So what we're not about to do on this show is fake news. I like to tell it as it is. I bring the real tea. If you follow me, if you're part of my Patreon of news and gossip, you guys know the real story. If you watch the Jojo interview that I did with Jojo that I released on YouTube, then y'all know Jojo is a real friend. And I'm not going to sit up here and call her a fake friend, because she has done so much for Angela that Angela, in some part in her life, is going to regret losing
Jojo. Yeah.
Period.
I know, because I had an opportunity to actually talk with her behind the scenes through you. You know,
that part.
She seemed like a good, genuine person.
She's a good, genuine person.
She's a good person. So, yeah, she's taking care of her shit.
I stick up for good, genuine people. That's it.
And it's crazy because she's way different than Angela. Now, I talked to Angela before. Two totally opposite people. So you know that wasn't gonna last too long. You know what I'm saying? There was no dynamic there between them two. But I can see that JoJo was actually the good friend trying to look out for Angela. Because I remember JoJo from when they got that surgery done. And that's why I was questioning what happened to her. She was really there for Angela. She was there for Angela. She 100%. Anybody who goes through a surgery with you and hold your hand through that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's a real friend, bro.
A lot of people ain't gonna do that. Takes time off of work so that you can recover, all the things. Just
That's a real friend.
JoJo was real, and Angela got jealous because she got cool with Debbie. That part, Stevie.
Yep.
Lori says the only issue with a huge age difference is if someone wants a child, it can be messy. My ex-husband married a woman 20 years younger and they just had a baby right after he turned 55. Yeah, but Lori, what are the 4 things that I talk about? You have to talk about sex, you have to talk about babies, you have to talk about religion, and you have to talk about money before you get in a serious relationship with someone to make sure you're on the same page. If you have a 20-year age difference and someone is saying that they don't want a baby, you better make sure they don't want a baby in 10 years. They may not want a baby in 5 years, that they're solid on that, because they can be 20 saying, yeah, I don't want a baby. But at 40, they were like, oh no, I want to have a baby. You know what I mean? So you guys have to make sure you guys are on the same page, 100%.
Yeah.
That was the show. I'll be back tomorrow with MILF Manor and Darcy and Stacy. And you guys, I do cover After the 90 Days. I know a lot of you guys are not watching it, but it's actually really, really good. It's like a palate cleanser to all the drama that we watch on 90 Days. So I will be covering that probably the following day or the day after. It depends. But After the 90 Days with Lauren and Alexi, David and Annie. And then we'll see what's going on. But all the shows are starting to come back. So it's going to be back to back stuff. Gio, what are you working on next?
Y'all, you know where to find me at Gio Malik on YouTube, Instagram, Gio_said_it. I'm working right now. Every Tuesday, they got the new TLC 1,000-Pound Sisters. I do recaps on that. I do my Love the Lockup. I'm going to be recapping the 90 Day the other way when it comes out on January 29th. And I do a lot of other stuff too, like hip hop news. I'll probably do a short on it. I might do a live on it. Ain't no telling. But my cup of tea, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, is that Love the Lockup, whatever.
Listen, y'all, I'm missing out.
I've been talking to Linda about Love the Lockup.
I know, y'all. Apparently, Love After Locked Up this season is on fire. And just the little clips that I've been seeing, I don't know who the dude who is lying with the bigger girl.
Monique and Derek. Yeah, hey, look.
Derek is trifling. Derek is trifling. And then the other guy who his woman finally got out of prison and they went to dinner and then she kept being on her phone and he flipped out. And he's like, I've been waiting all this time to go for dinner with you. And, you know, she's talking to her black boyfriend who's just quote unquote her friend. And he's like, we're eating, we're having dinner. And Fool on the phone is like, I don't care. I didn't call to talk to you.
But it was some deep with that. I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna do a lot of more. I'm gonna do a Love at the Lockup around. I'm gonna do a Love at the Lockup tea because I'm starting to do them like Mondays and Fridays, like in the evening time, or either in the morning. Fridays, I'm starting to do that. So, my I got something to talk about with that because I be doing my I be bringing the I got to look up my receipts. You know how you say it, Linda?
Mm-hmm.
I got the receipts.
Got the receipts. You got to have the
receipts.
Don't be coming on any type of anywhere talking shit if you can't back it up. That part. You guys, I've been sitting on this Pedro tea. I know I told all my Patreon subscriber people already. I will do a short on it, but listen, y'all, Pedro.
When are they coming back, though? They not coming back.
They're coming back.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover that one too. I ain't gonna.
They're coming back, but stay tuned for that, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, Gio. Thank you so much. Live chat, you were popping. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Peace and love, y'all.
Raydella said.